Hey, you guys. Welcome to Ask Mackenzie episode 13. You guys, it has been such a crazy offseason for the Pittsburgh Steelers so far. I'm so happy that I get to be with you guys and chat with you about all the latest, the greatest that is going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I hope you all are having a wonderful Thursday. And thank you for being here with me. We had some technical difficulties yesterday, but everybody is here. We are back. We are ready to go. Hopefully, the laptop is cool today. Daredevil, you were here yesterday. You saw what happened. I am so sorry for cutting out in the middle, but we are back. We are here, and we are ready to talk Pittsburgh Steelers, you guys. So, last season, in the offseason, there really wasn't a lot to get excited for before the draft. Because going into the draft last year, we were stoked to get a new quarterback. And we didn't know who we were going to get last season because Ben retired. It was kind of like oh my God, are we in a rebuilding phase or are we in a, pause for a little bit while we get the pieces together? And there are so many people out there who I've been talking to. I don't know about you guys, but every single time I talk to somebody about the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're like, oh man, that sucks to be a Steelers fan right now. And I'm like, why? Why is it bad to be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan right now? Because all I see is green. All I see is gold. We are on our way back to winning a Super Bowl. Now, it may not be this year, may not be next year, but hey, you guys, one step at a time. We talked about how, winning a playoff game is the number one thing that we need to focus on next season so we can get back to where we need to be, being that Super Bowl champion, winning Pittsburgh Steelers team again. So, with that being said, you guys, how are y'all this morning? George says, let's do this. Let's get into it. Let's start talking. Daredevil is here. What's up, you guys? So good to have you back. Now let's get into the chat. Let's talk about where we were. Last time we talked, we had a bunch of new additions to the team. Now, a lot of us can sit back and say, yeah, we're making some moves. Yeah, we'll see what happens next year. But no, you guys, this is something that I think that we really need to look at and dissect and go into, because if we have our GM saying that, we were fortunate enough to get two of the guys that we have already gotten, let's say between Colcom and Landon Roberts. Those guys were two guys that we weren't sure if we were going to get one or the other. So we need to kind of sit down and talk about these additions right now. And what do you guys think? So the fact that they are saying that, man, I wasn't sure if we were going to get Holcomb or Roberts, but the fact that we got both, those are two keys for our inside linebacker position that we really, really, really needed. Now, we talk about depth all the time. We talk about how important it is to have depth, and adding those two guys is giving me so much confidence that if one man goes down, we will have the depth now so we can continue to thrive and not lose 6 games without TJ Watt in the game. So I don't know about you guys, but what do you guys think about those two players, bringing them in to our defense, adding huge contribution to next season? Now, George says, the DB coach. Still haven't heard that move yet. I know we talked a little bit yesterday before my computer crashed, and we talked about Gerald Alexander and how we added him to the defensive side of the coaching staff. So Gerald Alexander, if you will, because we have George asking us about our DB coach. Haven't heard that move yet. However, we added Gerald Alexander as an assistant defensive backs coach. Gerald Alexander, he played in college at Boise State. He played in the NFL. He was drafted by the Detroit Lions. He ended up coaching as an intern. You know how players have to go through an internship program before they can even start coaching in the NFL. So we saw him with the Titans in 2015. We saw him with the Bucks in 2016. And then he ended up being a college coach at the University of California through 2019. Now, in 2020, Alexander was hired by the Miami Dolphins as the team's defensive backs coach, then under then head coach Brian Flores in Miami. So we saw last season how, it wasn't a bad thing that we added Brian Flores, right? It wasn't bad at all. We added somebody who knows the game well, who's respected as a coach, and now that Brian Flores is gone, we need someone to kind of pick up the slack, right? We need someone that's going to be able to do what they need to do to get the job done. So that being said, we have hired Gerald Alexander. Now let's see what he's going to do for us this season. I'm super excited to see how he gets in there, meshes well. It's so great to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, isn't it? So I'm excited for this move. What do you guys think? He says he has the utmost respect for Brian Flores, and knowing what he's getting into, knowing that Brian Flores was here last year, I'm happy about this decision. What do you guys think? We have some draft talks right now in the chat. We have some speculation. Jared Devil says Christian Gonzalez was one of the pre-draft visits today. It would be tremendous to pick him up in the draft, but I don't know what picks it would take to trade up and get him. Now that is very interesting to see, because the Steelers have been bringing a bunch of guys in, and at this point, I'm not going to sit here and say I know who the Steelers are going to pick, but I'm pretty sure that we are going to get our first guy off the board is going to be on the defensive side of the ball. So whether it's Deontay Banks, whether it's Joey Porter Jr., which I don't think it's going to be, because a lot of people are saying that Joey Porter Jr. isn't as strong as some of the other corners. However, he is supposedly ranked the top 3 in the draft. That doesn't mean that he's not going to fall to another team. Maybe another team in the AFC is interested in Joey Porter Jr., and it makes my heart hurt to see that the Ravens were talking about Joey Porter Jr. yesterday. You guys know my love for Joey Porter Jr. He's a Nittany Lion. Yes, he made some mistakes. He had like 10 penalties in 2021, but that was 2021, and we're in 2023 now. And if he is a teachable athlete, then teachable athletes want to get better. We saw Kenny Pickett last season. Kenny Pickett is a teachable athlete. All Kenny wants to do is get better, right? So having players that don't have an ego, having players that are willing to come in and do what it takes to be a sole contributor to the team, I think that it says a lot more than Jalen Carter, who is over here saying, I'm not interested in looking at any anything other than a top 10 pick. And it's like, that right there alone shows that you have an ego. And that ego is not going to last you well in the NFL. Now, I don't know what you guys think about these players who have potentially high draft capital to them, but in my eyes, it doesn't look good. Who wants a team with a player who thinks that they are all that? It's like you were in college. You just played in college. Yeah, you might have won a national championship, but you didn't see George Pickens coming into the team last year and saying, oh, I'm the guy. This is what you need to do. Yeah, we saw him get a little upset because he wasn't targeted, but if you're not targeting a very important key to your offense, then what are you going to do? What are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. So I don't know what you guys see or have been seeing and hearing about these guys that are being like sticklers to who they talk to about getting drafted, but it's like, be grateful. Be grateful that you are even in the draft, that you are even a prospect, that you are being talked about. So I just don't know what's going to happen when it comes to that guy. But comparing him to Joey Porter Jr., we see I know they play different positions, but listen, when it comes to guys getting ready for the draft, they know the teams that are interested in them. They know that they know that there are potential teams that they will land with. However, at the end of the day, you don't know what's going to happen until draft night. We don't know what is going to happen. And George makes a really good point. Anyone hear the rumor that the Steelers and Eagles may make a trade in the draft? Now, I haven't heard, I'm sorry, I'm not the best when it comes to updated news, but I know that the Steelers continuously say if there is somebody that they are interested in getting, then we are going to get them. George, what did you hear? What did you hear the rumor was? Because I haven't heard it yet. Maybe I just missed it, but I'm curious. Daredevil says, I don't trust the rumors. If it happens, it happens. Exactly. If the time comes where we think that we have a potential dog that we can get next season, why not draft up for him? Now, I don't know what the Steelers are thinking. I'm not in that front office. I have no idea where they are looking to go with their first pick. However, I know that whoever we get at 17, there is a good reason for it. Now, if we end up getting Joey Porter Jr. at 32 or 17, you guys, I don't want us to sit here and get all upset because there's so many people that are talking about how Joey Porter Jr. has a lot of flaws to him. Maybe he misses tackles more than you like. Maybe he's not a playmaker on the ball. Maybe he only had one interception in the last 3 seasons, but what are you going to do? You're in college. Now you're getting ready to buckle up with the pros. And if you are surrounded by players who want to do well for the team, then why not? Why not look at this guy? And I know that a lot of people also are saying, oh, well, the only reason why that we would get him is because he's Joey Porter Sr.'s son. Well, just because he's Joey Porter Sr.'s son doesn't mean that he's better than everyone, by no means, but he has knowledge that not a lot of other players have. He has a father that went through exactly what he is going through. He is a physical tackler. He has ability to match up with tight ends. And at the line of scrimmage, he's got a good jam, y'all. If a team selects Joey Porter Jr. and they don't put him at the line of scrimmage, they are wasting a pick because he is an athletic guy. Yes, he is flawed. We all have flaws. Nobody's perfect. I bet you can get the list of corners that are in the draft, and they will have flaws themselves. Yes, they might not have, they may have produced more. Maybe their stats were better. Maybe their stats were better last season. But if I know anything, you are not able to compare a star player in college and predict that he's going to do well. Now I'm going to make a point here. Benny Snell Jr., he was a stud at Kentucky. He was great in his bowl game. He showed a little bit of an ego to him when he was getting ready for the draft. But I think coming to the Pittsburgh Steelers definitely humbled him. So what do you guys think? Do you think that when we look at players that we draft, do you think that we look at personality, lack of ego or thereof, ability to improve? I know we say that we need guys that are able to come in and make plays immediately, but I think that we added guys in the offseason. We added veterans who are looking forward to training these younger guys, breeding them into what they are, even better. So I'm over here thinking, what's the worst that can happen? What is the worst that can happen if we pick Joey Porter Jr.? A lot of people will say he's not ready. Well, hey, who knows who's ready? We may pick a guy and he might not even be. We pick someone better than him. Maybe we don't pick a corner. Maybe we pick a linebacker. Maybe you do a lineman. Who knows if these guys are going to be ready? Okay, how many number one? How many quarterbacks came off the board and have had a successful career being the number one pick, number two pick, even the number one quarterback off the board? We don't know. So we can't sit here and say whether or not these guys are going to be good or not. This is what is the most exciting thing about football right now, is everything is unpredictable. There are so many things that are unpredictable right now. And I just think being optimistic, showing that we are picking players for a particular reason, they bring stuff to the table other than their athleticism. I think it's very important to dive more into that. So Robert makes a really, really good point here. The Baltimore Ravens coach, John Harbaugh, says that he would be interested in grabbing Joey Porter Jr. He says, I'm going to find out if Joey Porter Jr. Would want to be a fan of the Ravens. Now, come on. Your father was a Pittsburgh Steeler. You probably grew up a Steelers fan. You went to college in Pennsylvania. Now, if Pennsylvania isn't already in your blood, like, I don't know why John Harbaugh would think that he would want to be a fan. However, it is a spot in the NFL. So we can't sit here and say that beggars can be choosers, especially being a NFL draft prospect. So you guys, we saw John Harbaugh say it would be good to know for me if Joey Porter Jr. would want to be a Raven one day. But he understands that it is a family affair. It is family matter, and that Joey Porter Jr. is a good player. If John Harbaugh is saying that Joey Porter Jr. is a good player, and all of us Steeler Nation is saying that Joey Porter Jr. isn't, why are the Ravens interested in him? The Ravens have had good draft picks in the past. Not to say that they stuck there and stayed with them, but it is something to note that other coaches are interested in Joey Porter Jr., and especially in the AFC North. You guys, I don't want to see Joey Porter Jr. as a Raven. I don't want to go up against him next season because all I will be thinking is, man, he deserves to be on this squad. This is his family. I know we can't sit here and say this is what's going to happen, but if there's a chance and he's on the board, man, I'd love to see that happen. I'd love to see that happen. So you guys talk about the Eagles. So assistant GM has ties with the Eagles. That would make sense that we could possibly make a trade in the draft with the Eagles. However, for what purpose? What would we need in that trade? Are we going to trade Deontay Johnson for another pick? What are we going to do? Because that is still an option as well. Trading Deontay Johnson for a better pick, you guys, for a better wide receiver potentially to contribute to the wide receiver room. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen. I think the front office wants to give Deontay Johnson a chance. However, I don't know. That's just what I think, but who knows? Who knows? Let's see. Jared Devil has a comment. Terrell Austin and Grady Brown have done a great job with the secondary so far. In addition, an additional coach can only help make it better. They'll do well, however, whoever they bring in the draft. I agree. You guys, it's one of those things where we have all of these pieces coming together now. We added to our O-line. We added on the defense. We have things coming together. And I know for a fact that whoever we pick in the draft, whoever we get, is going to be a guy that the Steelers think and believe in that can be a contributor one day. We added. Now I want to talk about this for a second. I got really excited earlier reading some interesting facts. So Herbig, Nate Herbig just signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers recently, offensive guard. That is a good pickup. We think that he will be a great addition to the O-line, especially with I cannot pronounce his name. Is it Solomalu? I want to say Palomalu, but it's Solomu. He is huge. Probably the best pickup that we've got that we can be excited about to protect Kenny. Adding Herbig just adds more depth. But on the defensive side of the ball, his brother, have you guys seen the comparisons of his brother to TJ Watt? Now, I know they're different. They're different. However, we heard Arthur Moats talking earlier on his podcast about how excited he is for linebacker Nick Herbig. So we know about Nick. He plays at Wisconsin. That's where TJ came from. Arthur said something about when he was watching the tape, the first thing that jumped to his attention was the athleticism of this fella. They think that he's natural. He's thinner, but he's not the stereotypical linebacker, what you would think in his body type. But when you watch him, he does something very different. He does something that we might have seen that TJ Watt does. He says, Arthur Moat said that the funny thing is that he does the same rush moves as TJ. The fact that we have somebody making comparisons to TJ Watt already, somebody that's not even in the same position, holy cow, you guys, we could pick up this guy later in the later in the draft, if he's not off the board, this could be a huge pick for us if we end up getting him. Because I don't know about y'all, but I knew that coming into the draft, TJ Watt, not because he had a Watt name, but because he is a dog and because his film showed from Wisconsin how good he was. This is something that I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see how he does, where he lands, and I hope that we get him because we love keeping family together, right? We all know that it is good to bring family back to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have a history of it. It would be so exciting just to see this guy on our team. If Arthur Moats is speaking highly of him, I mean, you guys, how can you not be excited? We have Jay. Hi, Jay. How are you today? Nick Herbig is a mini TJ. The pass rush moves are like TJ. If you go in and you look at the film, holy cow, this is a man to be excited for. And I don't know how much we've been talking about him. I just think it's insane. Insane to see that someone like this has the talent already. Now, this is what I'm talking about. A guy that can come in and probably start contributing. When you get that off-season practice, preseason practice, getting your feel, getting your foot, your toes wet with the guys, I think this could be huge for us. Huge to add to the depth. They're both Wisconsin products. They're both similar moves. This is something that I am very excited to see. Donald, how are you doing today, Donald? Thoughts on trying to get wide receiver Jack Smith? God, his brother plays on the Pirates, and it would be nice to have another elite weapon for KP8. So this is a very good point. We talk about trading. Would we trade up for him? We just talked about keeping Steelers family together, but what about Pittsburgh family? His brother plays for the Pirates. How cool would it be? It seems like we have so many ties in the draft right now to the Pittsburgh Steelers. It only would make sense to continue that, to continue what we do. We bring in guys who want to be a Steeler. I think Jackson wants to be a Steeler. I think anybody that has ties to Pittsburgh would love to be a Steeler just because of the history that we bring, everything that we bring to the table. Yeah, right now, we might not be the best in the NFL. We might not be the Kansas City Chiefs, but hey, guess what? Who knows? Who goes to say that in 2 years we will be stomping on the Chiefs? And that is what I'd like to see. What do you guys think? Good, Donald. Good to hear from you. Glad that you could be here again. It's really good to have you in the chat. How are you, Robert? Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. It is very good to have you in. Very, very good to have you in here. Did you guys see 3 other wide receivers that we've met with? See, I don't know a lot about them, but I know that we have a few that we are looking at. So Purdue's Charlie Jones, Ole Miss Jonathan Mingo, and Michigan State's Jalen Reed. Do you guys know anything about them, and what do you guys think about the possibility of getting those if we don't end up getting Addison or if we don't end up getting Jackson? What other wide receivers would you guys be excited to see? Another guy that we could also have to keep our eye on is Iowa State product Xavier Hutchinson. He had a very, 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 very good season in the Big 12, and he doesn't have anything that sticks out that some other guys might have that might stick out to them. But overall, he is open. He has good hands. He could be somebody that could be a good player to add to our wide receiver crew. So that is another player that I am super excited into possibly scouting, looking at pre-draft, where everything's going to fall. I think when it comes to the draft and draft day, it's going to be a matter of, okay, who are the guys that we think that we should get? Who's left over? Who's the best that's going to fall? We can only predict so much. I know the Pittsburgh Steelers have what's best interest for us. So I'm excited to see what comes of that. Let's see. Bleacher Report is saying the Steelers should get Cedric Wilson. Interesting. I wonder what they're saying about that. Would we trade for him? That is a very interesting comment. Because I'm actually now just seeing this. How many more guys are we going to actually pick up in in free agency? I don't know. Um, we already have a wide receiver. We don't really have that many vets in our wide receiver room right now. So would it be cool to see another vet come in the wide receiver room? Or do you think we're fine? Do you think that what we have right now is what we're building up for the potential future of our wide receiver class? Because we're finally going to be able to see Calvin Austin. Finally, you guys, I'm so excited to see what Calvin Austin will do for us next year. If he even does, I'm optimistic that it will happen. Do you guys think that Calvin Austin is someone that you forgot about? Maybe he's somebody that we can really see contribute. Um, honestly, at this point, you guys, I am just putting all the trust in the front office, and it is very interesting to see all of the speculation, all of the mock drafts come out. Well, I think we should get this guy. Well, I don't think they're going to get this guy. What? It doesn't really matter what you think, because at the end of the day, the Pittsburgh Steelers know what's best, and the Pittsburgh Steelers seem like they are on a great track to get back to where we need to be. If they're looking at Mingo and Jones, they probably are looking for a wide receiver late in the round. If that's the case, I'd like to see Roddy Bell from Michigan or Raheem Jarrett from Maryland. I heard that too. I heard that there is a good chance that later on in the draft that we will be getting a wide receiver. However, that probably shuts down any possibility to getting Smith or Addison or any other wide receiver that's projected to go higher in the draft. If we don't trade. But if we trade, that means we might not be getting a dog on the defense. So I really think that I don't see us trading up for a wide receiver. But that's just me. That's just how I feel. What do you guys think? Do you think that we would trade up? If we were to make a trade up, would it be on offense or defense? What are your thoughts? I'd like to know. Because right now I don't see that happening on offense. If we get a wide receiver, Josh Downs from North Carolina would be nice, but hopefully we get more defensive talent. That's what I'm saying, y'all. I really think that we are pressed on defense. We are historically great on defense, and I think this is what the Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to get back to. Trying to get back to not relying on two guys to get you through the season, because our defense gets exhausted. They are exhausted. The defense pulls through every season. The past 5 seasons, we have had our defense come in and get so exhausted because they are holding on by a thread to make sure that we don't lose. Luckily, we haven't had a losing season. So that just goes to show the strength, the will, the fight that we have on our defensive side. Now, hopefully next season we can give some of the other fellows a break, because we just added a few veterans that will do that for us. Donald says, I agree. I don't see them trading up for a wide receiver. It would be nice to get Smith, but at 17, I doubt he'd be there late in the first round. I doubt it. I really doubt it. But you guys, did you guys see anything about our new offensive assistant, Glenn Thomas? Did you guys like look him up or anything, or did you guys see anything about how exciting it is to add an offensive assistant coach? I think that this could be kind of hot water for Matt Canada. I think that if we see Glenn Thomas come in, add a new perspective, bring a new view to the offense, bring in more creative plays, maybe that will show that he's more creative and probably a better coach to have on our offense than Canada. Now, I don't know if this is a trial run. I don't know if it's a trial run for him to see if, Matt Canada's in the hot seat, obviously. If Matt Canada doesn't perform well and we see Glenn Thomas meshing well, bonding well more with the offense, could we see Matt Canada go next season? And could we see Glenn Thomas get upgraded to offensive coordinator? That is a very good question and a very good point that we have to think about going into next season. We have to be very careful and looking on what we do with our offense, see if we can get more creative plays other than a run, pass in the first quarter and then be like, oh, this isn't working out for us. Let's change our playbook in the middle of the game. Why? Why can't we just be prepared? Be prepared that what was working for us in the past ain't working for us anymore. We got new players. We have new things that we need to do with offense. We are not going to be the same old Pittsburgh Steelers on offense that we've been seeing for the past 5 years. This is our time to protect the quarterback, get open receivers, and open gaps for our running backs to run down the field. I want Najee Harris to have his best season yet this season. And if anyone else thinks that this isn't going to be the best season for our running backs, y'all need to think again, because we just added 2 big dogs on our line, y'all. We are going to have a great season next year on offense. It is already going to be better than it was last year. Oh, hi, Dante and Kyler. Yes, I'm live again. Yesterday we had a little technical difficulties. Unfortunately, my computer froze. Camera turned off. It was a disaster. So we're back here and we're talking what we were going to talk about yesterday. So it's great to have you back. We were just talking about Glenn Thomas and how he is going to be a contributor next season. Yes, he has a lot of history in college. That's not to say that college and NFL are similar. We know they're not. We saw Matt Canada came from a college background, an ACC background. So Glenn Thomas, he was a coach at Temple for a little while, and I'm pretty sure he had Kenny Pickett committed there for a while. He was really looking at Kenny Pickett coming out of high school into college. So I think that is another huge point to make. You guys, did you know that Glenn Thomas was interested in Kenny in college? Did you see that? Did you know that? What does that make you think now? Thinking that we are making moves for a reason. I say the Pittsburgh Steelers know what they're doing. And adding Glenn Thomas to this offense is something that I am so excited about. I almost thought McKenzie would say, no, you guys, we are not going to the Super Bowl this year. We need to take it one step at a time, y'all. We need to win a playoff game. Hello. We need to win the AFC North. We need to take the Bengals down. The Ravens are dead. The Browns, I don't care about. You guys, it's about getting to the Bengals at this point, winning the conference, winning a playoff game. We've gone to the playoffs, but we haven't won a game in for so long. Super Bowl will come in a few years, just not yet. Let's see. Between Najee and Jalen, the run game will be top tier, especially with help coming to the O-line with them big dogs. You said it right there. We have a different team this year than we had last year, than we've had in years past. We have veterans on our O-line. We don't have guys that we just drafted on our O-line starting. We have vets with experience who know what they're doing. I don't know about y'all, but I'm stoked. Dante and Kyler say, if Lamar doesn't play, though, we might have a very good shot at the division title, in my opinion. I agree. Who knows what's going to happen with Lamar? I don't know. I just hope he's not with the Steelers next year. Not Steelers. Ravens. Hope he's not with the Ravens next year. Because our division's getting hot, getting heated if Lamar stays. However, I don't think the Ravens have a lot of good weapons right now. I really don't. I don't really think their team is developed like how we are doing, making moves in this offseason. I haven't followed the Ravens. I don't know who they've picked up or who they lost. I just know that we are making moves. Bengals lost a bunch of players. They lost one of their key safeties, I think. I'm just excited to see what happens next season. I think we're going to surprise a lot of teams. We are going to give a lot of teams a run for their money. And I believe that this is going to be just an upward slant for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nothing but good things are going to come. Dante and Kyler asked me, who do you think will be a breakout player next year for the Steelers, Mac? Okay. Ooh, let me think about this. Let me think. I'm going to get some water real quick, and I'm going to think on that. Okay. I think that we could see George Pickens be insane. If we use him more, he will be insane. If we see Calvin Austin do what we thought that he was able to do, he will also be insane. I think there are a few players that will have a really, really, really good year. Because right now, what it looks like for us, we are becoming a family again. We are coming together. We are a team that wants to improve as a whole. I don't think we have any egos on our team right now. I really don't think. But if we do, they're going to be shut down real fast because egos are not going to get you anywhere. Okay? So I just think it's going to be good. Good all around. Pickens as a number one and Austin in the slot with that speed. Yes, this is what I'm saying. These two, when they get on the field together, oh man, it's going to be so sick. Oh, it's going to be awesome. So awesome that I am just sitting here patiently waiting for the season to start, y'all. Sitting here patiently waiting. Donald says, I'd like to see Anthony Miller break out and solidify himself as a third or fourth wide receiver. He is good, just can't stay healthy. It's all about staying healthy right now, you guys. We have a lot of injuries last season. A lot. And it hurt us. We were still able to finish 9-8. Great. But we have had a lot of injuries throughout the whole season. It would be nice to have. Not saying that injuries happen all the time. Can't sit here and say everyone's going to be healthy next season. But all we can do is hope that the majority of our players stay healthy and we don't have to worry about one going down, one going out. However, with the depth that we are adding, I won't be as afraid to see these guys go out and then we'll suffer from that. So Robert says, watch out, MAKENZIE may sing the pirate song. We are family. You guys know. No. I think if anyone has an ego on this team and is more in the we're better than who's on the field, it seems like all the guys exactly. That's what I thought, man. That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, right now I don't really see anybody that has a big ego. We got rid of the Le'Veon Bells, ABs, Juju's, even Claypool was starting to get a little of that. I don't know. But we don't got him anymore. We see George Pickens humbled himself. We've seen other guys that came in and humbled themselves. I'm excited, guys. I'm so excited. We have the players. Canada and his play calling is suspect. But, Alex, we did add Glenn Thomas as an offensive assistant coach who will come in and contribute. We need someone who has experience that can bring a different view to the field other than Canada. We need heads coming together. We need men in the film room or in the room, whatever you call it, pitching ideas to one another. Oh, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I really think that's a good idea. Yeah. Oh my God, why didn't you say that earlier? Yeah, you guys. Imagine what it would be like in that room if we heard those coaches just spitting ideas to one another. Collaborating. It's a collaborative effort, you guys. On a team, there is no I in team. It is a collaborative effort. And I think that if we do put our heads together and we set egos aside and these coaches get off their high horse, Canada, and let other opinions in, we will have a great season. 007, welcome. Thank you for being here. He says, I'd like to see Deontay Johnson break out after 0 touchdowns in 2023. You guys, how is our wide receiver one have no touchdowns last season? How? It boggles my mind. It literally boggles my mind how that man had no touchdowns last season. I really, really hope if he does stay, if we don't trade him, that he has a breakout year. We saw some really, really, really good plays from Deontay Johnson last year. He made some incredible catches, but he's not consistent, and he needs to be consistent. We love you, Deontay. We love you. I want to see you be consistent. You are a great player, and I'm sure he knows this. I'm sure he's tired of hearing people say this all the time. He's human. We can't sit here and crap on them all the time. He's human. He knows what he has to do, and I really hope that he breaks out. Dante and Kyler say, I agree. Muth will have a great season. He just got his buddy Gentry back. Man, Pat Freiermuth is always good. He doesn't need breakout. He's already broken out. We've already seen what Pat can do. And yeah, he just re-signed with his buddy Gentry. Holy cannoli. How can we not be excited? Players got to produce, though. Pickett needs more pass touchdowns and less interceptions, and Deontay needs at least one receiving touchdown this year. Understandable. We know this. We know it's going to happen. We know that with the moves that we've been making this offseason, we will 1,000% have more pass touchdowns and less interceptions because we will be on the same page. It was so hard having Kenny come in mid-season. It was just, last season was just weird, y'all. It was weird. But we somehow made it work. We made it work. And we finished 9-8. So, there we go. Dante and Kyler say, oh yeah, Claypool, I'm the top 5 receiver in this league. Yeah, right. Can't blame Canada for Deontay getting 0 touchdowns, though. 1,000%. I don't think that had anything to do with Canada. Canada doesn't have a passing scheme. That's the problem. So, with this fella, Glenn Thomas, coming in, I think that we could be in good hands. I really think that we're going to be in good hands next season. I really do. I really do. I have nothing but high hopes. With the play calling, you can definitely blame Canada for last season. Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. Dante and Collar say facts. Major facts. Deontay had multiple instances that he should have had a touchdown. Oh, 1,000%. You got to produce. That's all. We got to produce on offense. You can be a star player, but if you're not producing, your talent's going to waste. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. You guys, we've been going out this for almost 45 minutes now. Holy cannoli. Thank you for being here, you guys. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about today? Anything else you want to ask me? I always love talking with you guys about this because I get so happy just thinking about what's going to be next season for us. Man, I don't know about y'all, but I'm about to have a great rest of my day because we had a great chat here about the Steelers. Yeah, so if you guys have anything else you want to talk about, please let me know before I get out of here. I'm going to look up I'm just looking at some more info about our new offensive assistance coach. Let's see. So he has about 20 years of coaching. He spent the 2022 season as the offensive coordinator at Arizona State. He was an offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for 2 seasons at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. So he has college experience, but he also has some experience in the NFL. He was with the Atlanta Falcons as the quarterback coach for 3 seasons, and he was there when Matt Ryan was in his prime. Now, I know that Matt Ryan isn't a great quarterback anymore. However, Glenn Thomas does actually have experience in the NFL. Now, it may not be as much experience as you guys would want, but again, it's another mind in the offensive room that we will be able to pick ideas from. And going into next season, that's what we need. So, did you guys watch March Madness? Because Robert says, go UConn. I did not watch anything. I did not watch 1 game of March Madness this year because I have been so involved with the Steelers. My brain capacity has no room. No room. I told myself that I'm going to get involved. I'm going to start following the Lakers, Pirates, Penguins. We love them, but I don't got time to study all y'all. I got the Steelers to focus on right now. But no, it is really exciting to see that the Pirates are going to have a really good season this year. So, yeah. Do you think the Steelers will pick up a quarterback in the later rounds, even though they kept Mitch? We only have 2 quarterbacks currently. I think the rumor is that they are looking at getting a quarterback later on in the draft. I really do. Alex says, do you think Kenny will have more control of the offense, meaning audibles, 2-minute offense? Yes. Yes. I really do. Because listen, you guys, if I know anything about Kenny, Kenny wants to improve. Kenny's going to improve. We will see it next season. We will see better play calling. We will, like what I was just saying earlier, nothing but good things are going to come for our offense next season and defense. Our defense is going to get better, but our offense is going to improve significantly. Significantly. Kenzie, you're going to do any Steelers? Am I going to go? I will go to the ones in Los Angeles. I might go to the one in Las Vegas. But as of now, I know the only one I'm going to go to is the one in LA because, y'all, I'm in LA. So I will be going. Okay, so he says, do you go to training camp? John, do you know when training camp starts? Because I was just thinking about that earlier. I'd like to go. I'm going to Pittsburgh in June. I will be in Pittsburgh in June, you guys. Super exciting. So when is training camp? Is that when it is? Steelers fan 2288. I talked about this earlier, and I think that Calvin Austin will have a breakout season. Yes. Yes. We will see him. We will see him healthy. We will see his full potential, hopefully. Yeah, why not? Why not? Isn't the LA stadium like really nice? Oh yeah, SoFi Stadium, I think in my opinion is the nicest stadium in the nation. Just the little attention to detail around the whole entire stadium is just wow. I've been everywhere in that stadium. I think it is a beautiful stadium. So yeah. Let's see, Dante and Kyler think that hopefully the Orioles and Pirates both do good. Pirates are the only Pitt team I don't root for. Interesting. Yeah, I actually grew up in Maryland, so I grew up going to Orioles games. So I actually was in Florida last 2 weeks ago, and I saw one of their last spring training games. We saw the Phillies and the Orioles play. So that was pretty cool. And that was really cool. All right, y'all. I think it's time. I think I answered everyone's questions. Or unless anyone's getting back to me about when training camp is, I don't know. But yes, you guys, I am so excited. Thank you guys for being here. Usually in August. Yeah, I'm not gonna be there in August. I'm gonna be there in June. What happens in June? I don't know what happens in June, you guys. But yeah, you guys, it was lovely having you guys here today. Thank you for chatting with me. Thank you for asking me questions. We will be back next week. And you guys, guess what? I might have a guest. A guest! Former Steeler player. How does that sound? Yeah? Well, love y'all. Have a great day. Bye.